Hello, so we are back from Walt Disney World just the other day, and I was going to just give a little overview of the holiday. But first, I wanted to do a bit of a haul that we did and like all the shopping that we did when we were over in Orlando. And most of this is going to be strictly Disney things that we bought. We did buy a few things from other stores, like some of the outlets and like Walt, Target and things like that. But what I'm going to show you is just basically the stuff at Walt Disney World and what I bought. I did buy a few things for Claire, so I'll maybe show a few things of that. And she's also bought a few things for herself, but that's her stuff, so I won't show that. So yeah, first thing we got, we both got one of these, of course, was the resort mugs. You get one, you buy one of these, or it could be included in your package if you book a Walt Disney World holiday. So these can fill up with like sodas and things, even hot drinks. About $22, $23. You can fill it up as much as you want during your trip to Walt Disney World. You can also use it at different resorts as well. So maybe if you're resort hopping, for example, take this with you. It's always very handy for a drink in the hot weather. Although we didn't have a lot of hot weather this trip, but yeah, very handy. So this time I got an orange one. Um, so we checked into All Star Movies, and this is our first ever time at an All Star Resort. So this is the magnet from the All Star Movies. So we checked here in here on the Saturday night. We got here very late. I think it was almost midnight by the time we got there from Scotland. It was a very long travel day, which I'll talk about afterwards. But yeah, we always try and get resort magnets for where we stay. But we've just realised the other day that we haven't got one for the Riverside where we stayed at in October. So if we're ever back at some point, hopefully we'll get one then. We've got another magnet here. So we spent 2 nights at All Star Movies, and the following 7 nights was at Disney's Pop Century Resort. So I've got the magnet here for that one. It's got Mickey. It's got the sort of logo of Pop Century. So if you ever visit Pop Century, you'll see this sort of branding at the hotel and at the entrance and things. So this one here. I think all these sort of magnets were at $14.99 in dollars, so it's not too bad. But yeah, that's another one to tick off the list. And because the Pop Century was so close to the Caribbean Beach Resort, we went there once or twice. It was on the Skyliner line, but we never actually got a magnet from the Caribbean Beach from our stay in 2018. So yeah, we actually found one in the shop when we visited. So it's got Mickey there, and yeah, Mickey and Holiday just there as well. This one was $9.99, so a little bit cheaper. Yeah, Tropical Paradise. This is going on the fridge as well. But yeah, themed to the Caribbean beach. So glad to have this one. What else will I do? So yeah, I've got maps. Just your standard maps. So we've got one here for Magic Kingdom. Nothing really changed on that one. We've got Hollywood Studios. So again, nothing's really changed since our last time we went. But obviously expecting it to change in a couple of years with Monsters Inc., with Muppets going, things like that there. Epcot. This was the map for Epcot. Again, standard stuff here. Nothing has really changed since our visit in October. Test Track is still under refurb. And then, sort of halfway through our holiday, the Festival of the Arts started at Epcot for 2025. So we didn't actually do the passport, but it's quite nice to look back on. You've also got the wonderful walk of colourful cuisine. We didn't do this, but I've seen other YouTubers do it to get the stickers, to get the sort of prize at the end. You get all your sort of food menus and things like that in here. Pretty cool if you want to go around some of the stands. So the one we actually visited Animal Kingdom on the very last day of Dinoland. So we went to Dinoland on the last day. So this is the map for Animal Kingdom on the last day of Dinoland. So if you can see here, I'll try and get it in the camera. You can see here. I dropped it. Sorry. Let's have a look. So Dinoland down here. So I can see all these sort of attractions like Triceratops Spin, all the sort of games and that there. That's all there. But virtually the next day, they changed all the maps. So if you were to go into Animal Kingdom the next day, or a couple of days after, it would disappear. So we've still got Dinosaur here, but yeah, all of Dino Land has been like shaded out with trees because they're putting in the new attractions like Encanto and Indiana Jones. So yeah, that was another one. It's a good one to have. What else am I going to do? Right, okay, we'll go to Epcot this time. So we got the big Epcot cookie jar last year, the Space Your Birth one. This time we've got like almost a Christmas decoration, but I think this is almost too good not to put up all year round. And it's slightly heavy, it is heavy, so I don't know how well it would go on the tree. And it does light up as well, so I'll show you that. So there's Epcot Spaceship Earth. I don't know how well this will pick up in daylight. Maybe I have to close the blinds a second, it'd be better. You see that there? It does shine different colours like blue, purple, red. It's picking up the blue there, it's turning green there. Yeah, pretty cool. So yeah, we'll put that somewhere in a special place, I'm sure. So that's that one. We love our Disney transport, so we use the Skyliner quite a lot at staying at the Pop Century for Epcot and Hollywood Studios, which is always very handy. But of course, we did have to rely on Disney buses. So this one is themed Toy Story. So if you're ever at Disney, you will see buses like this, and the one is probably exactly wrapped like this one, like Toy Story. So this one was $17.99 dollars, I should say. We probably will take it out of the box, possibly. But yeah, pretty cool. We've got that for like a showpiece in the house somewhere. So I've got 4 mugs. I really don't know where I'm going to put all these, to be honest, but I'll show them anyway. So we really like this design here. So this is all your icons of the parks. I love the colours, the blues, the yellows, the golds, the greens and things. So we've got Spaceship Earth. We've got Tower of Terror. Oh no, sorry, that's Cinderella Castle. Tower of Terror. And then a Tree of Life, and the inside is just like a plain sort of blue. I think this was maybe about $17, $18, something like that, but it's a good size of mug. It's even got Walt Disney World on the inside there as well. And next one is this one. So I think I got this one in the Walt Disney World character outlets at Foundland. So we went to the outlets there. We got some good bargains there. Claire got some very good bargains. So this one was sort of the Play in the Park mug. So you can see that here. We've got sort of the Fab Five. Yeah, the Fab Five, I should say. Mickey, Donald, Minnie, Goofy, and Pluto, all there. It's quite heavy on the back there. It's got them on the back. Quite a big mug. Nothing on the inside, but pretty solid mug. Pretty impressed with that. As I say, I think this was about $7, $8. Really good price for that. This one sort of going back on the Caribbean beach theming. When we were at the shop, I also like getting mugs from where we stayed. So there wasn't anything specific for mug wise for the Pop Century or for All Star Movies, but I got this one for Caribbean Beach. So it's got Mickey there on his holiday at the Caribbean Beach. A nice white mug on the inside as well. I think this was about $18 or something like that. And it's got all the sort of islands that is located around the Caribbean beach, like Jamaica, Trinidad, Aruba, Martinique I think is on there as well. It's got the Skyliner going around as well and sort of showing you the maps to where Hollywood Studios is or to Epcot. Yeah, pretty good mug. I'm impressed with this one. Now this one might be my favourite. This one here. So this is like your Spaceship Earth mug here. Very cool. It's got the theming of Spaceship Earth. I don't know how practical it is around the edges there to drink it, but it's pretty cool. You've got Epcot, you've got like the Finding Nemo theming, you've got the Chipmunks, Figment, and Mickey there as well. I'll show you all that. Very cool, but yeah, no, I will be using this. It's just the top of it that doesn't look quite practical to me, but yeah, I'll still be using it all the same. What about this one? So yes, we went, as I said, we went to the character warehouse, and I actually seen this jigsaw back in October at full price. I can't quite remember how much it was at full price. In fact, it was $24 at full price. So $25. I got this for $7. I think it's maybe $7.99. So yeah, that was an absolute steal. Of like the partner statue and Cinderella Castle in the background. It's how much pieces is it? 1,000 pieces. So I sort of got my work cut out for it, but yeah, gonna give it a go. I still haven't started the other jigsaws that I've done that I bought previously, but at some point I'll do this one as well. But yeah, really impressed with this price. Still on the character warehouse theming, I bought this pillow. Now we've seen this pillow in the actual park in the shops there. Maybe not this color, but like a green here. Quite a very comfy, a Mickey pillow. Yeah, very, very comfy. You can fit around here as well. I think this was about $14. I think it's going to be double that in the parks. Yeah, pretty cool, and it's a Mickey head, so yeah, you can't really go wrong on that. We're still at the character warehouse, so this is Claire's, but I wanted to show it anyway because this is a bargain, absolute bargain. So we've got the Corsical, what do you call it? The Corsical bottles here. This retails at $55. We've actually got two of these. So Claire bought both of these. I think she got them both for I think it was like $25 each or something. So yeah, you basically got two for the price of one. Very solid sort of bottle here, lovely design. You got the Fab Five on it again. You got Goofy, you got Minnie, you got Mickey, you got Pluto, and Donald's at the back there, even with Daisy as well. Yeah, really impressed. Like a screw top, and yeah, very large, good solid top to it. So yeah, pretty impressed with that. So there's two of them. So I had came off of, I think it was a rock and roller coaster, and I had already had a jumper on me, but it was a little cold, so I was going to get another one anyway. So I bought this one from that store. So it's a Walt Disney World jumper. It's just got the sort of Walt Disney World logo at the bottom, with the big logo in the middle there, so different colours there. This is in a grey. I think I bought it in a medium. I think this was about $40 or something like that, maybe. But yeah, I love the sort of the design. Yeah, and I'll wear it when I'm at home as well. The next one, this is actually just out the wash, so it's a little bit damp, but I wanted to record this while it's fresh in the memory. So this is the Epcot t-shirt that I bought. It's sort of just like a plain black t-shirt with like Epcot written across it in different colours. Yeah, quite a simple thing, but yeah, I love it. So this is actually Claire's bag that I bought for her. So it's like a travel bag you could use it for. I can't quite remember how much it cost. I don't know if it's got the... No, it doesn't have the cost on it. But yeah, quite a big bag. It's got various different compartments on it. It's got all the sort of main characters on it as well, like the usual ones, the usual suspects. Yeah, nice solid bag there for Walt Disney World. And it's got a sort of the Walt Disney World written right across it as well on there. So one thing we also got this sort of theme to this mug over here was the magnet for it. So we actually got a magnet for that as well. So Walt Disney World with the 4 icons of the parks. So we got that. This was a red, so I can't quite remember how much that was, but it's probably about $7-8 I would have thought. But yeah, this is another one to go in the fridge. And the last thing we sort of got for like ourselves or for the house was a friend from Monty, and Monty's already almost like besotted by him, is Donald Duck. So we always try and get something for Monty when we're away. So this time we got Donald. We were looking at ER, and we were also looking at Dumbo, I think, as well. But we got ER for him, and yeah, he absolutely loves him. So yeah, very impressed. You can sort of see Monty is sleeping here, and he's got his eyes open. But yeah, he loves Donald. Yeah, and now I'm going to talk about our holiday now. So I'll just talk a little bit about the holiday that we're on in Walt Disney World. So on the Friday night before we left, we went to Aberdeen. Claire's dad dropped us off at the Moxie in Aberdeen, which is just a short walk from the airport. So we stayed there. I think we checked in about 8 p.m. The hotel was okay. I mean, we weren't that impressed with it, to be honest. But it was okay for what we needed for the night. And I think we got up, or Claire got up for me in the morning. I think we were out at the hotel before 4 a.m. So I think we'd been up from maybe, I was up before 3, I think, and Claire was probably up just after 2 a.m. So we had a walk to the airport, just like a 5-10 minute walk to the airport. All checked in, all fine, all were there nice and early. The flight took off at 7 a.m. to Heathrow on time. It was all perfect. We landed at Heathrow, and Claire got a text saying that there's been like an operational issue at Aberdeen, meaning that some of the bags may not have made the flight. So we weren't quite sure what that meant in terms of our bags, if that was like a standard text that everyone on the plane got. I never got one, but I think that's because the booking was done through Claire rather than me. So we're just hoping that we were there early enough. So hopefully no issues with that by the time we got to Orlando. And even so, there was flights from Aberdeen later on that morning that if the bag hadn't gone on, or the bags hadn't gone on that flight, our flight, it would go on a later flight, because our flight wasn't taking off till 1 o'clock and we got to Heathrow, I think about 8:30. It was less than an hour and a half flight from Aberdeen to Heathrow. Yeah, we got to Heathrow. We had like a breakfast. We had to chill out. We had a lot of time on our hands. The flight to Orlando was due to take off at 1 p.m. We got a notice earlier than that the flight was going to be delayed. I think it was down to a crew change, I think what they said. So some of the crew maybe were changing flights or something and weren't quite sure what was going on. So that was delayed until 2 o'clock. It was then delayed until 3 o'clock. And then we finally got on the plane, I think about 3:15. So that was over 2 hours waiting to take off. We then spent another half an hour on the runway. I think we took off about 3:45. So that was just under 3 hours of waiting around for takeoff. But yeah, we flew to Orlando. Luckily, just by chance, that me and Claire had a row of four with only two of us on it. So we could sort of spread ourselves across the four chairs for the journey to Orlando, which is fine. But it was, for what I remember, the flight was quite like windy. The turbulence was quite a lot, and we were asked to put on the seatbelts quite a lot. But otherwise, the flight was okay. We got to Orlando about 2 hours later than originally planned. They made up some time in the air, but I think we got in about 8 o'clock, around 8 p.m. And then we had to wait for our bags. But before that, we went through passport control, like immigration. So in October, I think we spent about 90 minutes in the queues for that. And that's not a great way to start the holiday. It was taking forever in October. But because we've been through immigration in the US before on those current passports, we did the mobile passport control. Literally, you go on your phone, you put in your information, that's all sort of saved online, and then you walk up to the passport control. We spoke to the guy, it took off, I think it took 10 minutes in the queue, and that was it. Like, we were so fast getting through there. That was like one of the best things to start the holiday off with, was not having to wait in that queue. The only downside to that was we had to wait a little bit longer for the bags, but even so, we would have been a lot quicker out of the airport than a lot of other people that went through the like standard way. So we waited for our bags on the carousel. Eventually mine came, which is also, I was delighted with that, but we're still a bit anxious with Claire's bag and where that was. And there was bags going round the carousel. There was no bags getting added to the carousel for like 5-10 minutes. So I think we waited for like another 10 minutes because there were staff waiting, watching the carousel, like Virgin staff and also Orlando airport staff. They were sort of just chatting amongst themselves. They weren't saying anything. They were aware that we were there, but didn't come over to see us. So it wasn't until I actually walked over to ask, is there any more bags? And then they sort of pipe up saying, oh, there's no more bags. But we've been waiting there for at least another extra 20 minutes for the bags, and not one person said to us that was the final lot of bags. So that was really, really annoying. So we spoke to the person at Virgin. They sent us down to the next terminal, so we got the monorail over. We spoke to one of our colleagues at Virgin. So that was Claire's bag gone missing, probably in Aberdeen. So we had to log that information with Virgin, all done online. So we had to give them a description of the bag, when it went missing, where we were staying. So of course we were staying at All Star Movies for that night and the Sunday night as well. And then we're moving on to Pop Century from the Monday. So we had to give them the two hotels. And when we checked out of All Star Movies, Claire had to go online to change the hotel where we were at with the address so that it would get delivered to the correct hotel. So yeah, once that was all said and done, I think we didn't leave the airport till after 11. So that was like 3 hours of our travel day over with there, just at the airport, waiting for bags and waiting for like information on the bags or the bag. So we got the Mears bus to our hotel. Very handy thing to do is book the Mears transportation. We had a couple of stop offs before. I think we stopped off at maybe the Marriott, and we also stopped off at Animal Kingdom Lodge, I remember. And there was a couple others on that list that we stopped off at. And then we eventually got to All Star Movies. We checked in there, and I think we checked in about midnight. That was going on for like a 27 hour day by that point. And yeah, we were both just knackered. But luckily, we got to our beds. But we wanted to go to one of the parks in the morning. but of course, Claire had no like luggage. She had some things in her hand luggage, but nothing in her cabin bag, because she didn't have the cabin bag. So we had to go to Target, and so we went to Target for the morning, and then eventually, once we got ourselves sorted out, we finally went to Animal Kingdom. So yeah, we spent like the next day in Walt Disney World, the whole Sunday, and then we checked out on the Monday from All Star Movies. So we were staying in the Toy Story themed area of All Star Movies, which is very cool. And then we left to go to Pop Century, and luckily they held our bags for us while we waited to be checked in to the actual room. So they held the bags for I think till about 3 p.m. I think we left All Star Movies about 9 a.m. And then we all went off to do our park day. On the Monday, we came back, and then we finally got into the room. And yeah, we had a really good week from there. It was a little bit cold, to be honest, but some days were nice and warm as well. But mostly on the cold side, it was very cold. For being in Florida, I mean, nothing like back home, but yeah, it was good. It was good. I can't complain too much. The hotel at Pop Century was very nice. It was our first ever time staying there as well. It's a value resort, but you can't really fault anything with Disney, to be honest. The only things that we noticed was for the value is you get the one bed. For moderate, where we usually stay, or we've stayed at Wilderness Lodge, which is deluxe. It's a little bit quite pricey at the moment, so I don't know the next time we'll be staying at deluxe. But for value, you get the one bed, but also you get the pull down Murphy bed. We didn't use it, but it's quite handy for families, I guess, to be booking the value resorts. Didn't use the pools this time in either resort, just because of the temperature. I know the pools are heated, but yeah, I think I'd probably find it quite cold. The Skyliner was brilliant for staying at Pop Century. They do share the Skyliner with the Art of Animation Resort, which is just across the water, the Hourglass Lake. And in the mornings for the queues for Epcot and Hollywood Studios, they're quite big, to be honest. They are big. Bus is not so bad because it's just a one resort. But I think the Skyliner opens at 7:30. And if you're there, maybe bang on 7:30. We were finding that we were right around the corner in the queue waiting, and it could sometimes be like a 20 to 30 minute wait just to get on the Skyliner, because what they do is they sort of shuffle some people on from Art of Animation, then they do the queue for Pop Century, then they keep on filtering it through, and they try and get up to about 10 to 12 people in the Skyliner at once at that time in the morning. So if you want to sort of be there really early to the parks, you want to get there probably before 7 a.m. With the line opening 7:30. But yeah, the Skyliner worked perfectly for us. It didn't really break down at all. So for us, we had to get the Skyliner from our hotel to the Caribbean Beach Resort, and that's sort of like the main hub for the Skyliner. From there, you can get to Epcot, or you can get to Hollywood Studios. Hollywood Studios, it takes about 5 minutes. Literally a hop, skip, and a jump to Hollywood Studios, very quick. To Epcot, a little bit longer because you have to go around that corner. I think it takes about 10 minutes there. But of course, when you get to Epcot, you're not getting by the entrance. You're getting to the International Gateway, which is fine. It just means you're in between the UK Pavilion and France. But of course, you just got that walk to the front of the park if you wanted to go near Spaceship Earth or anything. But I can't complain. It worked really well for us in the mornings, and even more so in the afternoons or evenings, because the queues were slightly quieter then. We didn't have to spend too much time waiting to get on the Skyliner. Otherwise, we had a really good week. We met up with friends. We surprised them on the Tuesday. They were staying at the Caribbean Beach. We spent a bit of time with them, and then yeah, just had our own time as well together. We checked out on the following Monday. We had a day at Magic Kingdom. I think we only had a couple hours there, and then we checked out of the hotel. We got the New Year's bus back to the airport. I think the flight was meant to take off at 5:30 Orlando time. We got word quite quickly that it wasn't going to take off till 6 p.m. So right enough, it flew off about 6 p.m. Orlando time. I think we were expected to get into Heathrow at maybe 7 a.m. maybe. But within about 2 hours of the flight, we got word of a passenger was ill on the plane, and they were sort of advised by, I think it was one of the cabin crew who used to be a paramedic, that they needed medical assistance. So that meant we had to basically divert, and the closest airport we were next to was St John's in Canada, Newfoundland. So we flew down to up to there. The person got off the flight. I think their family got off too, and we're told that it would just be a quick stop, just to get the person off, and then they had to de-ice the wings. But of course, we've had this before where we got diverted in 2022 when we stayed at Coronado Springs. We left Orlando to travel back to Edinburgh, I think it was, and we got diverted to New York, and that took a lot longer than we thought. But this time it took a lot longer than we ever thought. So we knew that it would be a bit longer wait in St John's, but not as long as what we thought. So of course they had to locate the person's bags. They must have done that, and then I think they had to wait for like clearance to fly off again by air traffic control. I think we were waiting for about 3 hours on the runway, and by that point the plane had tried to have taken off. But we heard like sounds on the plane. It didn't sound very promising, and the plane was almost cutting out when it was trying to take off, which wasn't very good at all. And we were also told that the cabin crew were late in getting into Orlando the previous day from Manchester, and they were sort of over their working hours for that day. So we're basically told that there's an issue with the plane, but also the staff are sort of beyond the point of their hours for that day. So they had to sort of call it quits. So that meant a night in St John's. So we were in St John's. I think we were still on the plane by 3 a.m. Local time. We were waiting for the walkway to get connected to the plane. So that backfired as well. I think there was a mechanical or electrical issue there. So I think that was about another 45-minute wait on the plane, which you're absolutely knackered. You would just want home at the end of the day. And then they wanted to connect the steps to the plane, and there was another issue there where there was another issue connecting the stairs to the plane. I think that was like another 20 to 30-minute wait. And then we got off the plane, and then we had to go through the immigration in Canada. We had to fill out one of these forms for us. Each person on the plane had to fill one out for what we're bringing in, how long we're staying for, and things like that. It's almost like an ESTA in a way. And then we had to queue for another 45 minutes in the airport just to get through that. By that point, Virgin had arranged buses and hotels for us, for everyone on the flight, which is some achievement, to be honest, to sort of do that. So we got on a bus at the airport. I think this was going on like 4:30 in the morning or something like that. We got on a bus, weren't quite sure where we were going, but we ended up in the Delta Hotel in St John's. I think we got there just after 5 a.m. and we were the second bus there. There had been a previous bus for the other people, and there was a third bus behind us. So once we got to the hotel, there was like a busload of people in front of us waiting to check in. So that was like another 30 to 45-minute wait to get into a room. So we got our room. All I had to do for that was put my card down for it, just so they could have a card against it. They said it was going to be a $200 hold on the card just for a day or two. But Virgin, they were going to be paying for that. So yeah, I think we got into the room just about 6 a.m. Local time there. Breakfast was serving 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. We set up our alarms for just after 10 a.m. to try and get some breakfast. But I think we slept into near 12 noon, trying to catch up on some sleep. And we weren't quite sure what was happening. The Virgin staff had to have at least 12 hours rest between getting to the hotel and taking off. So we knew that we probably wouldn't even fly off till at least 6 p.m. We got notice in the afternoon that it was going to take off at 7 a.m. So we had to be ready at the hotel by 4 a.m. on that day. But we had like a day in St John's, like a half a day in St John's, where we had a little walk around. Went to see some shops, some sights. Not too much sights, to be honest, because it was very cold. We didn't have our big cases either. They were left on the original plane. So all we had was our hand luggage, or what was in our hand luggage, and our rucksacks. I had some tracky bottoms, a jacket, a jumper, things like that, and a couple of spare changes of clothes. Claire had the same. Her jacket was like a thinner jacket, but I think the wind chill was about -15, -16, -17. and it was very snowy. So we didn't get to walk around too much. It was pretty cold, but we had an evening meal as well at one of the restaurants there, and of course we could claim that back through Virgin with all of our receipts. And even going back to when Claire lost her bag to Orlando, she could claim back up to £75 per day for items that she needed to buy for essentials. So yeah, we had another night in St John's. I think we went to bed quite early. I think 8 p.m. because we had to get up, by I think it was before 4 a.m. for the bus. But luckily, we had got like a letter through the door, or not luckily, but luckily we found the letter. That the letter through the hotel door was basically saying that the flight was delayed again. So this time it was going to take off at 11:30 local time, which meant that we were going to get picked up at 8:30 from the bus. So it meant that we had a longer lie, a bit more time in bed. So instead of getting up at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m., I think we got up about 6:30, 7 a.m. So we did get a bit more sleep. So yeah, we checked out of the hotel and we got picked up just after 8:30, and then we got the bus to the airport. Getting through the airport was a breeze. Quite a small airport. Getting through security was really quick. We had a Tim Hortons for breakfast. And then our flight was due to take off at 11:30. They didn't board till I think it was 12:15. And we knew that our luggage wasn't getting on the flight. They had sent a new plane over to get us, and we could actually see the plane that we were on the previous day was still in the runway, or still in the airport. So we could see it. We knew our bags were still on that flight or on the plane, and they still hadn't fixed the plane either. So we got on the plane just after 12, meant to take off at 11:30, and we didn't take off until I think it was 3:45. We were sitting on the runway for about almost 3 hours or something like that. Maybe, no, it was maybe 2:45 we took off. Yeah, I think we were on the runway for about 2 hours, waiting for various things, plus de-icing. Eventually we took off. But we were meant to get into London if the original plan came through that we were flying at 7 a.m, it would have meant we got to London about 2 o'clock, which meant we would have got the connecting flight to Aberdeen later in the afternoon. But because the flight was delayed until 11:30, but then didn't take off till like 3:15, we didn't get into London until like 10:15 at night. And on that day, there was no flights into Aberdeen. So that was a nightmare for us. That meant an extra day in hotel. So we got off the flight in Heathrow. As we were walking to the terminal, we actually met some Virgin staff. They were handing out chocolates for everyone. So there was like big boxes of celebrations, quality streets, Lint, and so every person on the flight could take like a box as like a gesture almost. And then we spoke to someone at Virgin. We got given like a form for our baggage. Like a description of the bags, so that when they arrived in Heathrow, they would be sent on the next flight to Aberdeen, and then hopefully couriered home to our house. So we did that, and then we spoke to another person at Virgin who gave us details for a hotel that they had paid for, and also like a £15 voucher each for food or drink at the Heathrow airport. So yeah, we got into Heathrow at 10:15. I don't think we left Heathrow till 11:15. We got on a bus to one of the hotels that we were staying at. We were staying at a hotel near the Holiday Express. I quite remember the name of the hotel, but it was like something Suites. It was actually quite a nice hotel, very big. It had like a kitchen, a big bed, a sofa, a nice bathroom. I will have already probably inserted some of the clips already to where we're staying for that. So that's pretty cool. We didn't get to bed till near midnight or after midnight, and we were put on the 7:50 flight to Aberdeen. I think we got up about 4 a.m. or just after 4 a.m. So yeah, not a lot of sleep. I think it was less than 4 hours sleep, or even less. Maybe it could have been 3 hours sleep. We did that. We got an Uber from the hotel to the terminal. I think it was Terminal 5 or Terminal 3. I can't quite remember. And then we got our flight. We didn't actually spend any of that vouchers. We just didn't fancy any food at that time. So that was like £15 each that we didn't use. We got on the flight. It left on time. It got in on time. We got into Aberdeen about 9:30 or just before then. And then we got a lift home by Claire's dad. We didn't have to wait at the carousel for our bags because we weren't told otherwise. We were sort of just told that our bags would make their way to our house. But I actually got like a call on the way home. I missed it. I got a text to say that our bags were in Aberdeen. So it turns out that our bags were actually on our flight to Aberdeen, but we didn't know that. So we could have maybe waited around for them. But yeah, we didn't know that. So we got home, I think, about 11 o'clock or something like that. And I was told that I would get a phone call with warning about our bags being dropped off. But we end up knocking on the door at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon with the courier with our bags. So that was brilliant that we got our bags that quickly from our flight. And yeah, that sort of sums up our travel day home. It was very eventful. It took us from Monday night all the way through to Thursday morning to get home. Definitely an experience traveling all the way to Canada from Orlando and then all the way home. With like, I think we spent about 35 hours in St. John's in total. It's pretty cool to see it. I would like I don't know if I'll ever go back there, but if we were more better dressed for it, it would be good to explore it a little bit more. But all in all, it was a really good holiday. And yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.